we're going to see the principles of design. Let's see what it is. So before we see the principles of design, let's talk about composition first. What's composition in art? What is composition? This is a significant part in art. Can you guess what it is? Can you tell me what the composition is?
Is that a mixture?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. What else?
Is it when like you create something?
That's right. That's right. So all of your answers can be, composition. So basically, composition means the overall design or organization of a work. So in other words, composition is the organization of all the visual elements within a work of art. So artists design their compositions using guideline known as the principles of design. So we're gonna see the principles of design that artists use for their creating their composition. Good morning.
Good morning.
So artists use these 5 principles of design when they create compositions. So first, unity and variety. And second, balance. And third, scale and proportion. And fourth is emphasis and subordination. And the last one is pattern and rhythm. So today we are going to see the first 3 principles, unity and variety, balance, and scale and proportion. So let's see unity and variety first. So unity. Unity is the sense of oneness, things belonging together and making up a coherent whole. And there are 3 types of unity. First one is compositional unity. And the second one is conceptual unity. And the third one is gestalt unity. So we're gonna see one by one. Let's see the compositional unity first. So an artist creates compositional unity by organizing all the visual aspects of a work. So these 3 similar diagrams are illustrating the idea of compositional unity. So although A is unified, it lacks the visual interest of B. And while C is a unified work, its visual variety feel incoherent and chaotic. So the C composition, so A is too dull. It looks very organized, but it looks dull at the same time. And B is too variety. So there is no, so it has the lack of the unity. But C's composition shows a variety in the unity. So it looks stable, but interesting. So artists use the elements of art to create compositional unity. So this painting, this painting's chaotic scene of shipwrecked man on a raft on the turbulent sea is unified by its strong composition. Let me ask you now, quiz. So which lines can you see in this painting? We learned art in the last chapter. It looks very dynamic. We learned horizontal and vertical and diagonal. Which line can you find in this painting?
Diagonal.
Diagonal, yes, diagonal. So the implied diagonal lines created by the man's dying bodies, the raft's mast, and the arms reaching out for the rescue from an X shape that provides a strong framework for the figures and the heightened dynamic intensity. And let's see the conceptual unity. So for example, there are diverse images, and I set a conceptual idea as full bloom. So I picked 3 images like flowers full bloom, cauliflowers full bloom, and the sea anemones full bloom. So it seems like there is no connection between these 3 images. However, these are conceptually united as the full bloom. So the conceptual links that artists make between symbols and ideas derive from the collective experiences of their culture. So this influences both the means that artists use to create unity and the viewers' interpretations of the work. So let me show you another example of conceptual unity. So this is Joseph Connell's mixed media work. So his work seems to suggest mysterious ideas and elusive feeling. So what you can see in this work of art, what's the, just to, tell me you can see in this work of art. What's the main subject?
The bird.
The bird, yes, the bird. So where is the bird?
In the middle of the picture.
Yes, in the middle of the box, in the frame, right? Looks
Mhm.
like a cage, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and some object is connected with this bird as a conceptual unity. Can you guess which object?
Is it the twig or the branch that he's on?
No, that's not the,
Is it the color?
People,
huh?
it
Is it the
seems to be-
color?
Color? No, it's not the color.
Is
Is
it
that the
cable?
ball?
Who said that? It's the ball. Yes, the ball is conceptually united with the bird. Why? Can you guess why?
Because of the
Can it be-
color?
Yeah.
It's not the color. Yeah, maybe just the ball and the bird has the color, right? The bright color, but that's not the the main meaning. So where is the ball?
Above the bird.
Yeah,
Mm.
above the bird in a rail, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the ball can move only in this trail, right? In this rail. So the Cornell has collected objects from life and sealed them in a box. The bird is caged and unable to get out, right? And a yellow ball. The yellow ball sits trapped on two rails that limit its freedom of movement to roll back and forth. So neither the bird nor the ball is free. So that is, yes. So that is the main theme to unite these two the objects as a conception. So the bird and the yellow ball are conceptually united in this work of art. So that's conceptual unity. So let's see the last unity, Gestalt unity. So Gestalt, a German word for form or shapes, refers to a work of art in which the whole seems greater than the sum of its parts. So this is Vishnu Dreaming the Universe, which is a relief panel from Temple of Vishnu in India. So we can discover the many faces of Gestalt by examining the ancient Hindu relief Vishnu Dreaming the Universe. So in this stone carving, the abundance of human figures surroundings a much larger reclining figure. And this is the god Vishnu dreaming. The repetition of the human shapes that attend Vishnu creates compositional unity. And these similar shapes link to each other visually. So to create a composition by repeating shapes, that's Gestalt unity. All right, so let's see a variety now. So a variety is opposite meaning of unity. The variety is differences that provide interest and contrast in art. So in art, variety is a collection of ideas, elements, or materials that are fused together into one design. Variety can invigorate a design. This example shows a composition of shapes set into a rectangle grid. So even though the grid structure is predictable, the variety of shapes and values counteracts the rigid structure. So many artists use this kind of variety of express an energy that would be lost if there were too much unity. So variety is the artist's way of giving a work of art a jolt. So unity is the sense of oneness, and variety is the differences in art. So it looks like a totally opposite concepts. However, all artworks includes unity and variety together. So let's look at this painting by Jackson Pollock. So Jackson Pollock was an American painter and a major figure in the abstract expressionist movement. He was widely noticed for his technique of pouring or splashing liquid household paint onto a horizontal surface. And that technique is called action painting. And can you find the unity and variety in this work of art? What's the unity and the variety in this work of art?
The unity can be the lines.
Mm-hmm.
Variety can be the different colors that we have.
Very good. Very good. So when you see the whole painting, we can see the oneness by using same technique on the canvas. And we can see Pollock repeated splashing paint with lots of layers. But when we see it closer, we can see the splashed paint's colors are different and the sizes and shapes are in random. So that factors make the variety. So the Pollock's painting has unity and variety at the same time. And here's another example. So what's the unity and the variety in this work of art?
Can the unity, I see that it's a body, like parts of a body.
Very good.
And the variety is the different parts of the body.
Very good. Very good. So this work of art is using conceptual art with the contact with the text and the photographs. So it repeats in the piece of work. The factors can be unity in this work of art, like body parts or using the text. And when we see the composition, it looks like very natural, and we cannot find the unity in the composition. Also, the text art has different colors and the photographs shows different body parts. Yes. So that factors can be variety in this work of art. So as you can see, unity and variety are always together in a work of art. So that gives us interest and pleasure in the oneness. So let's move on to the next principle, balance.
So, Sasha, what's your definition of unity?
Unity is oneness, and variety is differences.
Okay.
Yeah, and they are always together in work of art.
Okay.
So let's see the balance. So balance refers to an apparent heaviness or lightness of forms arranged in composition. So there are two types of balance in art. So the one is symmetrical balance, and the other one is asymmetrical balance. So let's see what's the difference. So symmetrical balance. Symmetrical balance is the mirror image of shapes or forms on either side of an imaginary axial dividing line. So the elements correspond to one another in size, shape, and placement. So let me show you the example. So look at this pattern image. There is an imaginary vertical axial on the center of the image. And the left side of the vertical axial corresponds to the right side image. So this is called symmetrical balance. And here's another example. So there is an imaginary horizontal axial on the center of the work. And the top part of the axial corresponds to the bottom part. So this is also using the symmetrical balance. And now let's see asymmetrical balance. So asymmetrical balance is two sides that do not correspond to one another in size, shape, and placement. So generally, there are 6 types of asymmetrical balance. So, like this. So number 1, the first one is asymmetrical balance with a large form and a smaller form. So a larger form is visually heavier than a smaller form. And the second one, so it shows like, dark form and the light form with the same size. So a dark value form is visually heavier than the light value form of the same size. And the third one, so the size of the form same, and the brightness is same, the lightness is same, but the left one has texture. So the textured form is visually heavier than a smooth form of the same size. And the fourth one, so it looks like a similar size of the forms, but the left one has complex form. So a complex form is visually heavier than a simple form of the same size. And the fifth form. So the left two, there are 2 smaller forms on the left side, and on the right side there is a big, larger form. So 2 or more small forms can be balanced a larger one. And the last one, there is a dark and a small form on the left side, and on the right side there is a large and light form. So a smaller dark form can balance a larger light one. So these are most popular 6 types of asymmetrical balance form. So let me show you the example to apply on one of these forms. So here's a quiz. Can you guess which types of asymmetrical balance in this Pablo Picasso's painting? So let me show you the option again. So like this, larger form and smaller form, and dark form, light form, and textured form and smooth form, complex form, simple form, more small forms equals larger one, and small dark equals light large.
I think the second one. I noticed the second one.
Second one, perfect. That's right. So the left woman and the woman in the mirror sizes look similar, but the left one is bright and the right one is dark. So that is the second factor of asymmetrical balance. Very good. How about this? This is a Gustav Klimt painting. Can you guess which asymmetrical type Gustav Klimt used? So let me show you the example again, the options.
I kind of see two things.
The number 2?
I see two different things, actually.
Yeah. Two different
I think-
things.
Yeah, I see a light and a dark, but maybe you know what? Oh, never mind. Number 6, a small dark to a light large.
You got it. You got it. That's right. So there is a chunk of bright people on the right side, and there is a dark ghost on the left side, and which is smaller than this, the bright side, the bright chunk. So, so this is the 6th asymmetrical balance feature. Very good. And here is a tricky example. Can you guess which asymmetrical balance applied in this Oriental painting? Use your use your creativity.
Number 3.
Number 3, it can be, yeah, because the left one, has the textured and the other part is, plain. Very good. It can be, yes.
Move form. Yeah, you said the first part might be textured and the second might be smooth. It looks smooth a little bit.
I see. So let's compare the size. So since you just mentioned the form, the number 3 with the textured and the plain form. So do you mean the plain form is the background? No.
No, I said smooth.
Smooth. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not the main asymmetrical balance form for this.
Can it be a small, dark, light, large?
Very good. Why?
Because I see small, dark, and the large, the mostly is lighter.
Very good. Very good. So when the left top corner, this and something is painted on the left top corner, and that is dark. And the rest part is empty with bright paper color. So this is 6th asymmetrical balance with the small dark form and large light form in an image. Very good. So let's move on to the next principle, scale and proportion. So scale is the size of an object or artwork relative to another object or artwork, or to a system of measurement. And proportion. Proportion refers to size relationship between parts of a whole, or between 2 or more items perceived as a unit. So scale and proportion both have to do with size. So let's see the scale first. So the scale of a work of art communicates ideas. So small scale pieces force viewers to come in close to experience the work of art. So a small scale work implies intimacy. And large scale works can be experienced by groups of viewers and usually communicate big ideas directed at a large audience. So let me show you the example. So this is David statue in 1501 to 1504 by Michelangelo. So he was one of the Renaissance master and a rival of Leonardo da Vinci. So this is a biblical episode, and Michelangelo depicted David for his victory after a battle with Goliath. So Michelangelo's David looks like a hero and grandeur. And this statue is much larger than life size because Michelangelo used a monumental scale for indicating heroism. So like this David statue, scale can be used for showing a meaning in art. And this is palette of Narmars by ancient Egypt. So this is more popular as Narmar's pose. So this, the biggest one is Narmar. So so this is this pose is called Narmar's pose, and which is typical of Egyptian art. You know, when depicting an important personage, the Egyptian artists strove to show each part of the body to best advantage, so that it could be read clearly by the viewer. So Narmar's body is seen in profile, but the torso full front, and his head in profile again. So this part and the legs part are in profile, but his eye is front again. So this same pose recurs throughout most two-dimensional art in Egypt. We're gonna see it in detail when you learned the ancient Egyptian art. So now let's focus on the size of the figures. Who is the biggest one in this palette work?
Narmer.
Yeah, Narmer. That's right. So the Narmer is obviously larger than other figures in this palette because Narmer is the most important figure in this work of art. So that is called hierarchical scale. So artists can use a size to indicate the relative importance of figures or objects in a composition. And almost always larger means more important and smaller means less important. And here's another types of scale. So this is René Magritte's painting. So he was a Belgian surrealist artist, and he became well known for creating a number of witty and thought-provoking images, so often depicting ordinary objects in an unusual context. So his work is known for challenging observers' preconditioned perceptions of reality. So now let's look at his painting closer. So related to the scale. So did you notice there is a special scale in this work of art?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand what you said.
Okay, so it's something, this painting is something like, feels like unusual, right? Do you know
Yes.
why? Yeah,
Yeah, because the comb is bigger than the bed.
that's right. That's right. So looks like, unusual scale, right? It's not
Yep.
the normal scale.
No, it's distorted.
That's right, which is distorted. That's right. So the room, there's a room, and we can see furniture like a bed, closet, and also we can see a carpet on the floor. But the uniqueness of this painting is that the little daily stuff are depicted as larger scale, like, brush, cup, soap, and a comb. Yeah. So in 20th century, many surrealist artists like Rene Magritte, they love to use distorted scale to create a supernatural effect. So let's see proportion for the last. So the relationships between the sizes of different parts of a work make up its proportions. So by controlling these size relationships, an artist can enhance the expressive and descriptive characteristics of the work. So as size relationships change, proportions change. So look at this image. So the A vase. So A shows the profile of a Greek vase. And if we change the width, like B, or if we change the height like C, the overall proportions change. So each of these vase profiles communicates a different feeling simply because the ratio of height to width is different. So when the width is reduced, like B, the vase seems elegant and light. And receding the height, like C, produces the opposite effect. The vase seems clumsier and weightier than the original profile. And we can make a perfect square and a circle shape with our body's proportion. So this is discovered by the Renaissance master Leonardo da Vinci. So when we straightly open our arm like this image, then the length from the left fingertips to the right fingertips is the same as our height.
Yes.
Yes.
That's amazing when you see that with the basketball players because their arms are so long.
That's right. So and also, when you open our legs and arms with a certain angle, like this image, then we can make a perfect circle. So, which is amazing, discovery. And the golden section. So, the Greeks interested in the use of mathematical formulas to determine perfect proportions has fascinated artists ever since. So one of the best known formula is what has become known since the Renaissance as the golden section. So the golden section is a unique ratio of a line divided into two segments so that the sum of the both segment is to the longer segment as the longer segment is to shorter segment. So the result is 1 to 1.618. So you can create the same ratio in this golden section. So this is Parthenos in Athens, Greece, constructed between 447 BCE and 438 BCE. So dedicated to the goddess Athena, Parthenos, or Athena, the warrior maiden. So this is the most typical architecture form to use the golden section. So we're gonna continue to see the rest of the principle of design next week. And today we have a discussion related to the balance. All right, so this is today's topic. So choose one of the discussion list below and explain. So number one, list 5 objects that represent formal or asymmetrical balance. And number 2, list 5 objects that are an asymmetrical and radial balance. And number 3, list 5 objects that are unity and variety. And number 4, list 5 subjects that are scale and proportion. So you can attach images or photos, if you need. So do you have any question?